All right, welcome back. This is week 4 of the EOWL coach's office.
Did you think we'd make it this far?
Yeah.
You think we made it 4 weeks? You think we made it 4?
We would keep doing it for the other coaches that we coach with.
Yeah. Okay. You want to introduce this gentleman right here?
This right here is Hall of Famer Rich Donady, former wrestler, coach all over the place. Has coached numerous kids that ended up being state champions, state placers, college wrestlers. So huge asset to the wrestling community, definitely in the area. So Rich is here with us this week, and
all right, thanks, Steve.
He's actually been here with us quite a while, but he's just the man behind it.
He was an off-camera guy for a while, and then I think he's ready for the big time. So he's going to springboard this into a big career.
Before we start, it's the new. We're heading into the new year.
Yeah.
You and I talked on the phone about kind of some New Year's resolutions. I wanted to clean myself up. I went no hat. I got a haircut. You guys think it looks
Very
good?
nice.
I tell you what, I don't know where you go for that haircut and the shave.
Yeah.
But you should give him a plug right now.
Yeah, Excalibur Barbershop in the mall. Very good. I went to Cody, I think was his name. Very good, though.
Was that today?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
You talked about
sure.
what you wanted to do was kind of, and we're all in the same boat. I agreed with you. Get your kind of fitness back in order, your weight, those sorts of things. And you talked about how it was starting today and you were going to eat healthy.
Yeah.
So tell us what you had for dinner.
Well, this morning I had a coffee and a chorizo and egg sandwich at Starbucks in Columbus.
Huh.
Then that was okay, and then I waited, and then I had 3 Hotheads tacos, and then that wasn't enough, so then driving to the Prima mothership here, I stopped at 1 hot cookie and ate 2 chocolate chip cookies and a milk. So we're going to have to push that diet back till tomorrow, probably. But I got on the scale this morning. Not good.
No, me too.
Pretty embarrassed.
I've been putting it off for a while. It's bad.
Who's gonna diet unless you're competing at Christmas time?
No, you don't start anything.
It's
till
entrapment.
A Monday or certainly the New Year.
Yeah. If you have any family members that are cooking, you can't diet.
Yeah.
There's no one. We're surrounded by the most disciplined student athletes on the planet. None of them can walk by Christmas Eve dinner table and not eat something.
I'm a slob.
Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna kick it off here.
I'm gonna be lean the next time. Week 5, I'm gonna be leaner. You're gonna be able to notice it.
Yeah, I'll probably gain weight.
Okay.
So we're going to talk about a couple duels we attended. Obviously, the Canfield Beaver local duel we attended. All 3 of us were there. It was a great atmosphere. 2 teams that are top 10 in the state for Division II. Fan-wise, team-wise, kids-wise, it was a tremendous duel. Obviously, I might be a little biased. I was coaching in it, but it was down in Beaver Local, which we've talked about how hard it is to wrestle there. Those fans are tremendous, extremely knowledgeable. And Rich, we kind of talked about it being similar to a duel back in the day when you would wrestle, with the similar atmosphere and the crowds and those sorts of things.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, it was fun down there. I was there as a fan, sitting with other guys. It was fun there. They big crowd on their side, big crowd on our side. People showed up. It reminded you, back in the day when you did mostly duels, you didn't have tons of tournaments like now. I think we had 2 a year and probably 12 duels. And people would show up for those duels. It was nice for fans, and it did have that feel about it. It was an exciting match, man. I had a good time down there.
Yeah.
We'll get to Beaver Local and Canfield in a second. What do you think's the largest group you've, like back in the 70s when you wrestled at Fitch with those huge? What do you think you wrestled in front of 1,000? You think?
You know what? I have. It's funny. We used to get a scrapbook, so I have the paper clippings back home. But we wrestled Boardman my junior and senior year. And now there were some star football players in there. Mike Turkovac was an all-state defensive lineman, and Boardman's heavyweight. Greg August, he was an all-state offensive lineman. They wrestled at heavyweight, and of course it created a lot of excitement. I even talked to people that had never been to a wrestling match. Lenny Villers, one time, he told me him and all his friends from the South Side got in the car and came. They wanted to see them 2 guys go at it.
Yeah.
And they didn't even have wrestling at South High School.
Yeah.
So,
what do you think, Rich? You think 1,000 people? What do you think? How many people were there?
I have, like I said, I have the clippings from at home. I have a scrapbook. The girls used to make it for us in school, the Matt girls. And it says 2,200 people for those duels. But I just remember, the time when we were at Fitch, they had to rope off the section of the mat because just the mat area only, because it was standing room only. That many people at a dual meet. It was really a good time.
Here's why I say that, because what made the Beaver Local and Canfield match so successful. Both programs promoted the duel on social media, and guys, this isn't even coaches. This is athletes tweeting out to other athletes and people in your school to get people there. We got to get back to that time. Our guys deserve that, don't you think?
Yeah.
So, what's the best way to promote duels? It's going to save the sport. What's the best way? You have to be proactive. If you're a program that wants to be wrestling in front of 1,000 people, you got to pick up a shovel and start digging. You know what I mean? You got to. So I think, you starting that, Stevie, with tweeting things out and reminding people, this has to be a constant thing.
And Beaver did a nice job. I don't know if it was Coach Williams on their Twitter.
Yeah.
Sending stuff out, and they obviously got a big crowd. And that was just a little bit of work from him and I, and it obviously paid some dividends. Certainly, it wasn't 2,200 people, but it was for the day and age. It was a pretty nice crowd.
No, I agree. And while we're there, let's talk about a little bit of a touchy subject. I don't know how I feel about it. In a big dual meet like that, you're as a coach, your job is to win the duel. Right. So you got to move your guys wherever you think you need to. But forfeiting to the best guys on the other team, what do you think? What do you guys think?
Me personally, I'm not a fan of it.
Yeah.
And it's different if you don't have somebody to put out there, or if it's maybe a crazy mismatch where it doesn't make a lot of sense. But I think for the most part, people want to see those kids wrestle. That's why they buy a ticket.
Right.
A couple of state champs, and they get forfeited to, and you miss an opportunity to see some of the best athletes in the state at wrestling. And I think it cheapens a duel a little bit. And again, I understand you're trying to win the duel. That's the important thing. I understand how hard it is to beat them kids. Everybody understands that. To that effect, I wrestled in school, and you guys could probably speak to this because I brought it up. We've talked about this other time with other guys. I think I would have wanted to choke my coach if he thought that I wasn't represented enough to go wrestle a good guy. Hey, I could take my lumps just like my other teammates have taken them many times. That's part of what we're doing. You go out there and do your best.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think I just worry about that. I think our league it's growing and 45 state ranked kids, and I think as we start to get a following, we're going to shoot ourselves in the foot here. And this isn't necessarily directed at Coach Williams or Coach Pitts, but it's something that has to be talked about somewhere. And I think if we start, college wrestling is killing itself. You have some of the greatest athletes in the entire world, but you never know to go see a college duel who's going to be wrestling and who's not going to be wrestling, because there's so much focus on the postseason that's all coaches care about. I think if we're going to build this sport and start getting 1,000 people in the stands, we got to wrestle the best kids. I'll say this. We wrestled Tony Jameson 4 years in a row. Nobody on the team wanted to wrestle Tony Jameson, but that's just what you do. If you got a guy, you send him out there. You know what I mean? You send him out there and you do it. That's just what you do.
And Tony was so crazy with some of the stuff he would hit.
Yeah.
You were half worried until you were glad when it was over.
Yeah. No, I mean, you're not going to go out there and beat him, but it's something to think about. So I just think that we got to be aware of that. You got to send somebody out there. It's something that sticks with me now because it just happened. It was an enormous duel. I get why Coach Williams bumped away from David, and I understand too, coming back through why, but I feel like we got to just be aware of that. And no one's ever going to tell any coach differently. Your job is to win the duel. Who cares if these three guys on the podcast don't care? But we got to talk about it.
We're not talking in specific about what happened necessarily the other night, because with that being said, nobody steps to the plate like Beaver Local all the time.
No, you're
not
right.
afraid of nobody.
No.
That's a storied program.
You're at MIT right
They're
now.
They're not scared of anybody.
Yeah, no.
We're not saying that.
No, not at all. But that was something that I just thought, is it a momentum stopper? Is there gamesmanship to forfeiting? I don't know. Hey, we're down 31-12, and then we get a couple of matches to go our way. Hey, maybe I'm not going to put somebody out there against David because I know I can't win, but also you want to try to get the momentum away. What do you think?
I think that's probably part of it. You have the match at 152 with Bo Smith and Reinhardt.
Yeah.
Probably the match of the night. Bo
Yeah.
Smith, they're both back and
Yeah.
forth on each
that
other.
was a great
Bo
match.
Smith ends up sticking Reinhardt. Huge match for them. Phenomenal match. Both great kids. Then you go to 60, they win there. And then 70, Cotrera wins, sticks their kid in. And then I think, maybe they think they know our top of our lineup is very good and the momentum's going to start. And maybe that is part of it, kind of trying to stop that or at least hold it off a little bit. And like you said, I understand there's reasons for it and stuff, but in terms of us talking about growing the sport and those sorts of things, I know when I go to duels, even like when we went to
Alliance West Branch.
West Branch, and you see kids, that you want to see not wrestle.
It is disappointing.
It's disappointing.
Yeah, it is. Because we go to a lot of matches that don't involve Canfield,
Right.
even though we're coaching there, and we get out. We were over at Fitch the
right.
other night and stuff, and you want to see a horror wrestle, or you want to see the Petrie kid and those were some nice matches.
Right.
Well, and we'll talk about that later. But to just kind of rather say, hey, you
But
want
you
the
wanna
Matt
see
Locke
those
Douglas
athletes.
matchup.
Yeah.
And we got a chance to see it, which I think was great.
And Fitch did a nice job with that. They bumped their guy into the good match, and it was an
Yeah.
exciting. Hey, we were fans there,
Yeah.
and we were excited.
And
to see it.
that's another testament to you. Just like you guys would be local, they don't run away from anybody. Hey, the Howland guys aren't going to run either. They want the match too. So I think there's a lot of positive things happening. We just got to make sure we're aware of that. I guess is my only reason to bring that up. Got to put Canfield number one. Coach Pitts is mad at me. Everybody's mad at me in the
What's your
Canfield
rank?
staff. But you got to put them one now. And it's not like in the back of my mind I kind of didn't root for them and want them to be number one. But I just felt like early in the season, football guys maybe not in shape, Beaver being in shape and knowing how good they are and how young they are, I thought maybe they would have the upper hand. But that Bo Smith and Reinhardt match, it's 4-4 in the first 30 seconds.
Yeah.
That's a situation where I wish they were different divisions because I like to see them guys wrestle for an entire practice.
Yeah.
There'd be 27 pins and it'd be 100 to 100. You know what I mean? Like it's just action. So and a classy kid after the match too, coming up and shaking hands.
Yeah, he's great.
He's always been a good kid. He's been around forever. So.
All right, well, that's our first segment there about the big state-ranked, two-team state-ranked duels in our first segment in Week 4. Thanks to Coach Donady for stepping in. We're going to bring in another segment a little bit later, too, if that's all right.
Thank you, guys.
All right, we'll see you.